Good morning, students. We are discussing about the chapter motion and time, in which we have discussion about the very important term known as the time. So we are having some knowledge of time in how ancient times peoples used to measure time. That is, one day can be measured by the sunset and sunrise. 1 month can be measured from one full moon to another full moon. So these are the examples in which ancient times peoples measure time, and nowadays we are having many digital devices and many clocks are there. So it is in it important term is the stopwatch. We have discussed also. After then we are having some modern devices, that is the digital clock or quartz clock in the older times. Now we are going for an important topic that is known as the periodic motion. Periodic means when you swing the to and fro motion, then it is known as the periodic motion. Periodic means which regularly repeats after a regular interval of time. Which repeats after a regular interval of time is known as periodic motion. Let's see here. It is the sport having a long thread connected with a bob. When I stretch this bob to one side from position A to C and freely left and free it, then it moves from C path to A path and then A path to B path. It continuously moves from B to C, C to B, B to C. This is known as the periodic motion. A motion which repeats itself at a regular interval of time is known as periodic motion. It helps in measurement of time of a simple pendulum. So what is simple pendulum? This whole structure is known as simple pendulum, which consists of a small metal ball known as bob suspended by a long thread to form a rigid support. The bob is free to move, and when it swings back and forth, this is back, front, forth, back, front. Okay, a pendulum completes one oscillation completes from the point C. When it goes to B and again come back to C, then one oscillation is complete. A pendulum completes every oscillation in fixed time if length remains constant. It was discovered by the scientist named as Galileo. Galileo was an important scientist which discussed about the periodic motion. So if you understand this, now we come to some important terms. Again, it is very important to understand. So this is the L known as length of the thread. This is the length of pendulum. Length of thread is known as the length of pendulum. This position from the distance from A to C gives the amplitude of pendulum. And when one oscillation completes, if I start from A, not fixed, oscillation completion is not fixed. It is depends on the starting position. If I am starting from A, then it goes to B, comes back to C, and then when it comes to A, then complete oscillation, one oscillation is complete. Okay, so this is about the one oscillation. And last we are discussing about the time period. So what is the length of pendulum? It is the length of thread from point of suspension to the center of bob. Again, from the point of suspension, कहाँ से इसे बांधा गया है? From the point of suspension to the center of bob. Center of bob means इस बॉल के सेंटर तक का डिस्टेंस को हम लेंथ मेजर करेंगे. सपोज देखो कहां से मैंने लाइन लगाई है, फ्रॉम द पॉइंट ऑफ सस्पेंशन टू द सेंटर ऑफ बॉब. सेंटर ऑफ बॉब इज नोन एज द एल लेंथ. नेक्स्ट हेडिंग इज ऑसिलेशन. One complete to and fro movement of the pendulum bob is called oscillation. Okay, one complete movement is known as oscillation. Third one is time period. How time period is measured? It is important because to measure time period of one oscillation is difficult. It is measured in term of average. How it works, I am describing you. Suppose I am starting the to and fro motion and starts my stopwatch. I will continue for the 10 oscillations. 10 to and fro motions are there, and then I note down the time for 10 oscillations, and the time is calculated by total number of oscillations by total time taken. So this is the time period of one oscillation. Okay. What is the amplitude? Amplitude is the maximum displacement of the bob from its mean position to either side is known as amplitude. This is A, denoted by A. Amplitude is denoted by A from the center mean position to extreme position either on B side or on C side. This is the maximum displacement known as amplitude. How amplitude is calculated from one oscillation? One oscillation includes the distance from C to B and B to C, but we require only A to C. So it is the 1/4 of one complete oscillation. So amplitude is equal to total distance of one oscillation by 4. So this is all about the simple pendulum and periodic motion. Please note down the time period and amplitude and solve the numericals questions given in your notebook. Your chapter time and motion gets complete. If any doubt, you can ask me and start preparing notes which will be provided you.